Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Australian report for Friday, September 17. And what we'll be talking about today is really more so of the bearish side of the market, okay? Because I started to talk about that yesterday a little bit with the US markets and more so today. So even if you don't trade the US markets, it's be it the stocks or be it the indices, it's probably a good idea just to have a bit of a look to see sort of where we are. But in a bit of a snapshot of the S&P, I think we can just have a quick look at that. Yeah, so with the S&P, we're considering having a wave 3 top in place, and that we'll be starting wave 4. We need evidence of that, so the move down through here, any move below that we can look to short. Yeah, because the move on the 100 tick chart here, just to sort of bring you up to speed a bit on this, is that the move down from the top, where are we, 510, the move down from the top here, a little bit complicated here, but yesterday we could count this down as being corrective or impulsive, so as 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 as impulsive. But what makes this impulsive is that the move up off the low here, you can see that, well, that's all kind of the same leg in one way, isn't it? And then we've got this wave A and B here, so this has got, there's no wave 5 taking us higher, so we could look at this as a wave 4, but no wave 5 taking us higher. So this is a corrective move. So all of this is a corrective rally here. So an A and a B, and looking for a C wave up here. That C wave may already be in the top there, but you could watch that video if you wanted to for that. But just to point out that the S&P has got the opportunity to have a top in place and looking for a corrective move down. And stocks like Apple are much clearer. Apple's clearer on the way down, and Apple's in the top 5 of the NASI. So yeah, look, as I've been pointing out here for a little while, we've either got this top of this wave 3 in, or we've got a wave 4. I'm missing my wave 4 from here. You know, if I've made a mistake in the count somewhere, then we could look at wave 4 being in here. But the problem with that, I'm not getting, I mean, we're getting a rally, but I'm not getting a really nice impulse wave coming here. But we'll consider it. We can still put wave 4 here. Yeah, probably not. So we're kind of looking at this as the A, B and C wave here. This B wave still looks a bit small, so yeah, the whole thing can get really quite complicated. So going into the intraday on the 4-hour chart for a moment, this is how we've had it here. I mean, it's a bit of a mess, and so this wave 4 has rallied too high, so we can't use that wave 4. So we have to look at this here as some part of a triangle pattern. So we can put wave 4 in all of this. We could also look at this, remove that. We could also look at this as wave C here of wave A. And then looking at this as wave B here. We're looking for 5 waves up here yesterday. We've got those 5 waves now. We can look at that in a moment, but we can still go short at that point. So that would be one point that we could go short at. So we have to start preparing for this now. And the banks were rallying yesterday, so that was nice. But I think that rally is just corrective as well. So we'll be looking at CBA for that. So we've got that nice trend line through there that will carry some weight. And from the top here, if we consider that all of wave A here, then we have to look at the 50-60% retracement level, and that comes in on that top line there, so that can go there. So really we could only turn bullish if that 61.8% became the support. Okay, otherwise we'll have to consider this corrective up here. Now I like the way of looking at this here as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave here for this. It does appear that there can be another little move up through here, but that's okay because we're still really, this B wave here can get a bit more complicated as well. We can have this as the A wave here. I mean, this is what's happening. We're getting, I should use the same size. So it looks like, say, we'll just lift that up a bit. And wave C over here for this. We could end up with something like this. Because we want something that's going to be it doesn't have to be big as this one over here. But yeah, so that's that. This, I want to keep these. We're going to need these if we go to the short side. So I'll just pop them over there. And this is just noise at the moment, so we don't need that. We'll leave that there. That can tell. We'll leave that. We'll just put that in the background a little bit, dull it out a bit. It's something like this that we're looking at. Now, obviously, the basics here is that the market is retesting the supply level up here at the 7.5. It's doing it, we could look at it as impulsive, as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. This is pulled back 61.8% of the length of this last move here, and it can be counted as 5 waves here. So all we really need to see, we could actually lift this up here now to have a breach of that low. But I'll leave it here for the time being, and we'll look at that on the hourly chart about getting closer to it. But if you can see that this is just trying to test that supply up through here. So it may do it a few times before it gives up. I don't know if this A wave and B wave could also be in this lot here as well. A little bit small, but it's possible. So if the S&P is going to roll over, then this is going to roll over as well in one way or another, moving further down. So we should just check on how far it can come down. So this is the weekly chart here. Let's just move my little yardstick here. We've got waves. Well, it's good now because waves, this is one of the things I was looking for, was wave 3 up here to be longer than wave 1, and that's my little yardstick. So it's done that. So that's one thing. I'm just going to move that to the side for a moment, and we're just going to look at, from this wave 2, let's just assume for a moment that this wave 5 of 3 is in place. Now, that needs confirming, and it's not giving us an impulse wave down, but the thing with wave 4s is that they're messy, and this has really started off to be messy. It has moved down much earlier than the other markets, but that's where this can come to at this point. So we could just draw a line from here to here and then up for wave 5. But it's not going to be a straight line, of course. Wave 4s just aren't like that. We can move that, and that will be our little wave 5 up here. Possibly the top of a market, or the wave 1 here, and back for 2. We don't know that yet. Something that we need to work through. It's being a little bit hopeful, but they got to keep printing the money. So that's kind of where it is. So that brings us back, we could say 7,000 roughly. Or the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, which is over here. So realistically, what I normally do is, as you may know, is grab the low of that and take the 38.2%. So anywhere in that zone is, highly acceptable. Yeah. So anyway, let's call it 7,000 for the time being. So going back to the daily chart just for a moment. So that brings us to the 7,000 here. So, and possibly a bit lower. So we'll just pop that down there. How that moves to that point, I'm not quite sure. So we're going to see this trend line through here. That's another way to look at it, really, isn't it? Is that the market is just sort of, also, I mean, it's retesting the supply, but also retesting the trend line because, when we see, as I've mentioned a few times before, just put it on the same angle, when a market's moving down, they'll move down through it, drop through it, and then come back and retest it. Sometimes you get a second retest as well, so you've got to be careful about that. But most of the time it's just one, but can get two. So it's that kind of thing that we're looking at here on this move here. So you'll be able to refine that in your own sweet time. But yeah, so that's sort of where we are. I could only turn bullish if the 7.5 became the tested support with the classic trading levels pattern on it. And this wave C down here, it may not be like that. This could be, we could end up in a triangle pattern. I mean, look at this wave 4 here. I mean, that's a friggin' nightmare, isn't it? We could be in for something like that. I really don't know, but at minimum, pull back to this wave 4 at minimum. So we're certainly not finished if this is the case. And we also need to see the banks drop as well. So I'll just move back in here. I know I'm spending a bit of time on this, but that's sort of okay. I'm just going to go to the hourly chart now. So yeah, I mean, if I had to consider this here, is that this does not look impulsive here, whichever way I look at it. So the best way would be an ABC for the A wave, the B wave, and I can see here that we've got 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and 5 here. But I can also see too that this move through here, it appears to be a little ABC pattern there. So it does appear that the market can go up at this point. So I'll just pop that in there. But at the same time, that low to that high, this current low here is at the 61.8%. So if the market does breach that, then you need to be looking to the downside. So having a small position above the 7,400 and one below it, and look for a classic trading levels pattern here as well on the 7.4. When the markets could certainly go up. It might be that I have this wrong in a way. It could be that something weird like an A wave here, a B wave here, and the C wave could be over here. And we look at this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here to finish. I'm not quite sure, but we just have to expect the unexpected at this particular point in time. So we can only turn bullish if we get a classic trading levels pattern sitting on that level. So when we look at the banks, I'm going to have a look at CommBank first, because as you can see on the daily chart, it pushed up. But I have to say, if we're going to call the ASX wave 3 in top, and then we'd also need, to help confirm this, we need the S&P 500 to break that low that I talked about, that I showed you. If that's broken, then the rest of this will come with it. That's how I see it. I'm calling this the B wave up here because the move that's moved up here, I can't see it as impulsive. And yet I know that we still haven't moved to the 50-60% retracement level in that little box yet. So the market is going to try to do that. We had some increased volume move in through here, so we can expect further upside, which will take the ASX higher. But be very careful we don't get sort of sucked into that, because the whole thing could turn on the Monday depending on how the Friday in the US closes. So if the Friday in the US closes weak, well then we're going to be looking weak, and Monday can be bearish. If the S&P closes strong on the Friday, well then it's got a good chance to follow through on the Monday. But this here, this would be from the low here, from this wave 2 low here. I could take it from here, but this is better from here. But either way, it still brings us very close to the $90 mark. So that's what we'd be looking for in one way or another. Do we get 3 waves down here? I think this definitely looks like a B wave, so that's why I'm in that B wave mode rather than a wave 2, because a wave 2 would be short and simple and swift, but this is not. This is cumbersome and time consuming and so on and so on. So yeah, so I expect this to move higher up here. So we could look at this as the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave up there. I'll just have a look on the tick chart. mean, maybe you can get 5 waves out of that, and maybe you can get 5 waves out of that. But yeah, I mean, maybe it's impulsive, maybe it's 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and building, but I just don't think that's the case. But I do think that we've got to move up here further before rolling over, and that would be the B wave at that point. Like I've always said, if we get a tested support, a classic trading levels pattern as a tested support on 105, then we can look at being long. But none of this here really convinces me that we're in a an impulse wave here. I mean, sure, they can be counted. This could be counted as an impulse wave. We can go 1 here, an A and a B and a C here for wave 2, 5 little waves up here for 3, across for 4 and up for 5. That would be the way to count that. You could count it as an A and a B and a C wave here. You could count this is not the low, that's the low, but you could look at that as 5 waves. I couldn't get 5 waves out of that. I know that's a little 4th wave in here, so this is going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here for the A wave, the B wave, and the C wave for a B wave, or wave 2, so that's cool. I mean, can you get 5 waves out of this? Yeah, sure, but there's overlapping wave structures and so on and so on. It's not a beautiful picture to be impulsive. It doesn't have to be either, but we'll just keep a bit of an eye on it. Not really interested in going long, but you know, it's above the level, so you're on the right side. It's above 100. If it was below 100, we'll be looking for short trades, but it's above, and it's tested it as support, so it can move higher. So we'll just allow it to play out there. So if we were guessing in the dark, then we'd look at the, well, it's hard to look at this as 5 waves here, but this is the kind of impulse wave that we've had over here as well. So maybe it's 1 and 2 here, and well, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. So wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And this is 1 and 2 here, probably 3, 4, 5. So probably some sort of 4th wave, 5th wave, and start coming into here and then rolling over from that point. But there's not much there, so just be a bit careful, you know. Could we look at that as 1 and back for 2 here? Possibly, but I do need a B wave here because this looks like it's in 5 waves here. So an A wave here, some sort of B, and I don't know, messed up in here. So I don't like to get into WXYs and things because, I don't know, yeah, anyway. Anyway, that's sort of where we are with that. And with A and Z, we're looking at, well, we've been looking at the triangle pattern, which is possible, the wave 3 here with the A, the B, the C, the D, and the E here. But we'll probably have to call that in as the high to be fair to all of this, in line with CBA. So I'll just put that wave 5 there, and we can move that. But we could stay with the triangle pattern. The triangle pattern is still in play. It's still okay-ish. If we look at this as the A wave, the B wave, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down here for the wave 5C of E of 4 here. So that's possible, right? But if we get this move up here, which if we look at this wave 4 here can pull back to this wave 4, so we can put that there, allow that to play out. If this moves down here, then that's going to give us 5 waves down. Then we'll have to call that wave, well, it'll be wave C of A at that point, so I will change that. So yeah, so then we'll have 5 waves down of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So then we'll have some sort of rally, and then we'll be coming down again after that. So yeah, this is all playing out at the 28. You know, it's checking the supply as resistance. So we'll just see how that goes. And yeah, otherwise we need to call this the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here for wave A, like we're doing with the other markets. And we'll take it from that point. So we don't have a position to look for here. If we were going to short this market, we need to wait for that to come down. That would give us 5 waves down from the top. Then we'd have to wait for the rally, and then we can short it over here. Okay, so we need to wait. Now, over to the resources. Just before we get there, we'll have a look at China. China's not doing much. It's just coming back, sitting on that 15,000. Sure, it could drop lower from here. We could get 5 waves out of here. They had bad retail figures at 2.5% or something. We can get 5 waves out of this, but yeah, this could also be 1 and 2 and 3 and move down further. But The Shanghai comp looks good. I'm not going to bring that up at the moment. Just check a quick check on India. Okay, India's taking off nicely because, as you know, we're looking at 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and going up for 5. Will it reach the 18,000? I don't know, but don't see why not. But we'll have to just keep an eye on the internal count in here. Now, the bids will be hit, but there will be profit taking at the 18,000. So you need to consider maybe just before that level, taking some off the table or taking it all off the table. If you want to, we can look to get back in over this side. If I mean, just drawing something makes it look easy, it might be a little bit tricky. And then we just go up again here. But taking the money off the table, if I was trading here, I'd just take it all off at 18 here, and then I'd look for another market because it's too time consuming being refocused and attached. You know, when you've made money in a market, you've created attachment for yourself, and yeah, so not good. So you need to detach, do a bit of meditation or something, and look for something else, because this is all just going to be a bit nightmare-y up here. And you know, we're also looking for a top here. We're looking for this top in the US market, so this could just continue for a little bit further. But yeah, anyway, who knows? We'll see. Let's move on to iron ore, which is, talked about iron ore in the real market going down to $100 in Australian terms. So that would still be heading down into that space. So this is going to be moving lower as well. We'll probably see a dance at the 650. It's moved through on higher volume. We'll see if it retests that. But it's possible to move down further. We need to count 5 waves from wave 4 down to 500 here, which will be probably a bit closer towards the the $100 mark on the Australian in Australian dollar terms, where they're buying it from. So let's see with I haven't looked at gold. Okay, well, gold's really moved down, isn't it? So let me bring some more data in. So there we are. So that's all planned out quite nicely, isn't it? We looked at that being wave 1 and 2, so the didn't really retrace back to the 18 though, but certainly moved down here stronger. So I'm not sure. I'll have to do a little bit of work on this, but I'll do that later when we do the gold video, or even on the Monday or something. But we're looking for this. We're looking for that 5-wave move down through here. Don't need all of those. So yeah, we've got to. That's wave 1 and 2, as I pointed out yesterday. And now we've got to work out 3, 4, and 5. So we've got a little bit of time. And we also want to, you know, even once we, you know, once we nail this 4 and 5, wherever it is, we still need to get a nice little impulse wave to the upside here that's clear enough that we can work with, you know, and then we'll go long over this point. So anyway, that's kind of good, isn't it? You know, copper's also moved down as well. So let's have a look at copper. So yeah, I thought we had a bullish thing going on, but then I noticed the other day, as you know, that the market had pulled down. I mean, it's obviously pulled down today in the last session, but we'd picked it up earlier than that. So yeah, we could be in for this. There's one thin little chance that we could be still on track for 1 and 2. So we'll go in and have a little look at that. And we've been on the hourly chart for this, haven't we? So this was our original count. We're looking at this wave 4 here. We were counting up as 1, ABC for 2. Everything was looking rosy. We're looking up for 1. We're coming back for 2. And then we noticed that we had 5 waves in this move here. So I was thinking, it's a bit of a long shot because we'll be below the level. But maybe we've just got the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave coming down here. So the C wave, we wouldn't want it. This is group 1 of 9,000 here, the medium level 10 to 1, 2, 3 here. So we could probably allow this to come down to this point and then move off from there. That would be the last glimmer of hope for this bullish market. The other side here too is that we need to work out the 5 waves in here, because when we get 5 waves in here, we normally get a bounce off the number 3. So it would probably come back to retest this trend line. So I'll leave that in there and then move down from that point. So that would be something like 3, 4, and 5 there just for the 3rd wave. So if I can borrow these for a moment, just need to move them. That would be 1 and 2, and that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd wave. So it's quite a collapse, you know, annoying as anything. I'll just leave that there for the time being. So let's just let our hope, our bucket of hope, to run dry first. We'll look into the abyss when it's broken here. So yeah, we can take a closer look at this a little bit later, but if you wanted to have a look, you need to figure out 5 waves down into, it'll hit 93 and bounce. It may, if it sinks too far into 93, then it's going to be sluggish getting back up. But if it just touches it and it's nice and crisp, then we'll see the sharp bounce. So it depends if it sinks into the mud or just, you know, bounces straight off the concrete, so to speak. That will tell you, that will be helpful in anyway, it helps you understand what's going on a bit. Okay, that's that. Crude is steady. So all we can do with crude here is that it is possible to have wave 4 here. It's also possible to have wave 4 sitting over here and getting more complicated and so on and so on. This move up through here, we can look at the A wave and A, B, and C for the B wave, and then going up to the C wave here, we're looking for 5 waves. So we've got 1 and 2 in here, and then 3. So we're in the wave 4 at the moment, which is across the 7,200, the 72 number, and then up for wave 5 of B here, and then we can look at moving down lower at that point. Possible that wave 4's in here's 1 and 2. We would need to see this move here look like a 3rd wave to the upside, not like a wave C. So it's looking 50-50 at the moment. So we'll just see how that plays out a little bit further. What else in the resources do I need to look at? What I want to have a look at is the Australian dollar. So if we are considering this here as the A wave and the B wave and the C wave down here for wave 2 or B or whatever, then we've got 1 from the B wave, we've got wave 1 and 2. We've got a nice 3rd wave here, you can see, and then we've got the 4th, and then we're down for the 5th. So in this 5th wave here, you can see that we got down for 1 here and back for 2, and this will be 3 and 4 and 5. So there's still another little low to come in here from here. So we're talking about this consolidation volume over here for that. So even once we do get that low, it doesn't really give us a buying opportunity, because we need to see if we're going to get like a wave 4 in 3 waves or something and move down again, and that would give us 5 waves down. So that would cause a problem. Anything under this low would cause a problem. So from here we need to see if we can build 5 waves. Whoops a daisy, that's a bit rough and ready, but anyway, we need to see an impulse wave off the low here to work, and then we got a market will pull back, and then we can start to get our trade set up on the long side. Yeah, I'm not convinced this is wave 1 yet. I can see it better as an ABC pattern. But still, it could be an A wave up here, a B wave here, and still head higher, you know, into a C wave up here. So we can trade that. We just need to confirm the internal structure first and work that, so it's not ready just yet. And also to the US dollar index. So the US dollar index, just on the 2-hour chart, we're looking at this as wave 4 over here of wave C of 4, and then we're looking down as wave 1 here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the A wave, back for the B wave, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. So we can put those in play there. So from here we can look at this as 1 and 2, and wave 3 is not finished yet, and then there'll be wave 4, and then there'll be wave 5. So this will be quite nice because it will give us a classic trading levels pattern at this level. I want to bring that down a bit further. Need to bring that down here a bit further. That could come up a bit further. That wave C can sit on top of there. That wave 2 can sit on top of there. And then we can look at this here as wave 3, 4, 5, and then we'll get the classic trading levels pattern sitting here. We're either going to be coming down at this point, we're either going to be coming down here, or we need to be looking to go long at that point. Because it's at that point, any move up from there, after an A, B, C here, any move up from that point through there will create more of a bullish pattern at that point. Because as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here, as wave 2, we can't go above that top there. We can always use the second top as well. So this will be the deciding factor if the US dollar is going to go up or down, and then that's going to sort out all the other currencies as well. Okay, that's it. So I'll leave it at that. Okay, I've covered most things, so I'll leave it at that. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.